Your Contract Now by Kid of Gaia. Written with and in Phoenician sonic definitions, defined only by me as per my intent, assumption and presumption of any all possibilities other than my own are destroyed ab initio. Ignorance is not a defense. Time to wise up. To whom it may concern, legal names notwithstanding, where any and all names mentioned in this are not, and will never be assumed presumed to be legal names, where any and all legal names are, in fact, aiding and abetting fraud. It is not my wish, nor ever will be my wish, to partake in any all frauds ab initio ad infinitum. So be advised that I am currently investigating an all too common situation of mistaken stolen identity, false personation, regarding fraudulent use of Crown copyright property, commonly known as the legal name. So as you are now fully aware, that applies to everybody. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Well, anyone that uses a legal name, I don't care if you're a bar member or not. Well, you're the ultimate fraudsters, aren't you? And you're sworn to it. Bye-bye, Seoul. Not talking about Korea here. Actually, I am. I'm talking about the core, Ria. Isn't it funny? Soul, core, Ria. Core, heart. Ria, earth. You can't make this up. See, it's in everything. Anyway, inasmuch as all or anything legal are without standing in reality, or what you would deem to be the real world, most of humanity is duped into this fraud via the birth certificate fraud, deception, non-disclosure, legal name, false impersonation, etc., where legality is not reality as per their own maxims of law. Please read attached Babylon Has Fallen for a brief synopsis. You need to have a copy of Babylon Has Fallen if you're going to use this. It's free for everybody. Everything neutral. Please read attached Babylon Has Fallen for a brief synopsis of this scam of humanity as a whole, and be advised that any and all use of the legal name has you complicit in any and all crimes against humanity henceforth. Ooh, nasty contract, eh? As an investigative reporter and freelance journalist, I have an obligation to humanity to expose any and all of these crimes to my millions of listeners, followers worldwide, to bring a full awareness to the consciousness of humanity as a whole. In short, if you're playing with legal names and harming anyone by just doing my job, it sucks to be you in the same way that claim was made during the Nuremberg trials. Harming someone in the execution of your duties does not and will not absolve you of your free will choice to do so under any and all circumstances, where all are simply guilty in, by, and of their actions in the instant the crime is committed. No court required to prove self-guilt. If I cover the puck up, they might not think it's a goal. But you know it is. Crook. Children, man, I can't believe it. Supposedly professional sports players still trying to hide the fact that they stole a cookie. Fucking grown. Anyway, it has come to my attention that you, the living spirit occupying a crown-owned copyrighted body, see Gift, Black's Law, page 757, Gift, abbreviation, Gamete Interlopian Transfer. Gift, noun, 12th century. The voluntary transfer of property to another without compensation. Cases, gifts, 1. 2, a thing so transferred. Gift, verb, absolute gift. See inter vivos, gift. Well, let's check that one out, shall we? Inter vivos means inter vivos, where was it? Sorry, I've got the actual transferred the definitions from the Black Magic book. 1 sec. Of or relating to property conveyed, not by will or in contemplation of an imminent death, but during the conveyor's lifetime. Inter vivos. Isn't that interesting? Property conveyed, not by will, so there's no will involved. Or in contemplation of an imminent death, so you're not expecting someone to die. Funny that. See gift. In short, the body is gift dead or gifted via the registering or surrendering the given name, thus gift, gamete interfallopian transfer, or conception point, rendering the any and all bodies crown copyright property by consent of the creators of that body, are therefore dead by your own admission upon any and all use of, by, for, in, use of, by, for, in any legal, all legal names, aliases, etc., and therefore have no claim against any and all who otherwise. Truth does not require your belief where doubt exists. Truth merely seeks denial or acceptance where ignorance is fully removed. A fraud revealed is null and void, nunc pro tunc pro nunc, ab initio ad infinitum, where the birth certificate fraud with intent to deceive is revealed. Inasmuch as you are legally dead, proven with any and all Crown Corpse identification use, you have no voice in this matter, where only the living can speak, since you are in fact a walking, talking fraud, false personator by your willful consent, by claiming to be using any forms of Crown Corporation identification. Definition: impersonation, the act of impersonating someone, also termed personation, false impersonation. The crime of falsely representing oneself as another person, in bold, usually a law enforcement officer for the purpose of deceiving someone. See 18 U.S.C.A. blah, blah, blah. Please note, it doesn't say someone pretending to be a law enforcement officer, but rather states clearly that it is usually a law enforcement officer, such as the letter of Luciferian law. Here's a little something else for you to ponder. With regards to bearing false witness, false personation, fabricating false evidence, giving or fabricating false evidence with intent to procure conviction of a capital offense. Whoever gives or fabricates false evidence, intending thereby to cause or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby cause any person to be convicted of an offense which is capital by this code, or under any other law for the time being enforced, shall be punished with imprisonment for life, or with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 20 years, and shall also be liable to fine. And if an innocent person is convicted and executed in consequence of such false evidence, by the way, anytime you ask for a name, you are spiritually murdering someone with intent. So this is why it's capital. The person who gives such false evidence shall be punished either with death or the punishment herein before described. An eye for an eye, kind of how it works. Any and all claims made to force assumption or presumption is, in fact, fabricating false evidence, bearing false witness, where a living spirit is being legally murdered to entice them into commission of fraud and slavery, and is treason upon the living spirit of that being. Any and all agents of, for, by, in their oath to the owners of the Crown Corporation are, in fact, dead by consent. Where bearing false witness, false personation, fabricating false evidence is the very nature of their professions. For to make weary, Latin, professio. If you are holding, causing to be held, detaining, harming, imprisoning, arresting, injecting, force-feeding poisons, also known as drugs, restraining, murdered, threatened, stolen from, raped, etc., any and all beings who have, of their own free will choice, made you aware that they are removed from any all assumption, presumption of fraudulent legal names, aliases, etc., et al., you are guilty of the aforementioned charges that rule the dead by consent beings that think, believe, duped into thinking, convinced they are a legal name or legal names, are in fact delusional and literally psychopathic, sociopathic in nature. Feel free to research and prove this otherwise. It is now incumbent upon you to remedy your own delusions in this matter, and in this regard, lest you continue to harm another living being. The birth certificate is prima facie evidence of the owners of the purpose of procuring identification to exist or life-sist in the whore of Babylon commerce using their mark of the beast. At least now you know what those terms were referring to all along. Have a nice day. Please read the following. And I added a couple of things that I've already shared on the air, so I'm not going to bother.